Hi, I'm Jeremy.
I'm AJ.
And I've got gold.
I don't.
Welcome back for another week of the Extraordinary Times. I am still recovering from a weekend of Avengers and Tempe, and yeah. So, speaking of Avengers, opening day, they made a meager $80.5 million, still being beat out by Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. But they kind of came back the way the Avengers do and shattered all records everywhere with $200.3 million for their opening weekend in America. Not counting the fact that they've been open for a week over in Europe, where they made buckets and buckets load millions of dollars more. So
I have to wonder if that actually might have something to do with it.
Yeah. Apparently when you release something in Europe first and create a huge buzz about the fact that this movie is amazing, it makes people excited. And then the fact that the movie is amazing helps a little bit more. Thank you, Joss Whedon, for masterpiecing this whole thing together. And we move on to some real news. Oh, I hate real news, especially when it deals with socialists.
Speaking of Europe, a couple of elections have taken place. And there's a bit of a change and a little bit of a stay the same, I guess. France has decided to completely turn away from all things conservative and austerity and all of that and just go pure radical socialist. They have kicked out their former leader Sarkozy and have
To be fair, they elected him out.
They kicked him out.
They waited for the election to kick him out.
Right. Either way, they now have François Hollande, I think. I'm going to say that's... I don't speak French, I speak German. Anyway.
Holland?
Hollande? I don't know, I haven't heard it actually spoken yet.
Me neither.
Either way, he is an out-and-out socialist, left-wing guy. And, yeah, a little side note on that, the euro fell that day, but the dollar didn't. Anyway, so...
Actually, by a good bit. We're going to combine a few stories together right now. Just the fact that is it President Holland?
Or Prime Minister. Or
I think it's President in France, but yeah. The French president was elected in, and the euro dropped 6 straight days in a row. So, good job.
Oh, by the way, the dollar stayed the same at that point. So
same with a little bit of an uptick. So, go the dollar. So there you go. Those were gold dollars, just in case you didn't know. But also,
the thing that stayed the same. So Russian President Vladimir Putin,
before he was president,
right,
and then he was prime minister, and now he's president again.
Either way, it gives him 6 more years as leader of the country, and a lot of people are very unhappy because people are screaming voter fraud. People are saying there's no way we would have voted this guy in again. I've actually been keeping an eye on things, and yeah, I actually think this might have changed, and yeah, no, he actually just took care of his rivals, and as soon as he was sworn in, roughly 400 people were arrested.
Well, because they were rioting outside the Kremlin, the way people do in Russia. When Russians get angry, they go crazy. A little bit crazy.
Either way, this is all over the news. This is all over international video, and people are just like, something's wrong here. You're arresting all your rivals.
A little bit wrong. But we move on, jumping back across the pond to us. I'm not going to go over all of the things that this article goes over, but essentially, the government is and will be keeping tabs on everything you do, period, on the internet. End of story. Our government, the U.S. of A., has a lot of little things that they're doing, not the least of which being something we have either alluded to or actually talked about in previous episodes. Go check them out, and the playlist feature and all that. Skip back to where we talked about the NSA building a giant data farm in Utah. By the way, yeah, that's legit. That's not like speculation or conspiracy theory. That's like national news. And they're going to be able to process yottabytes of information per year. And in case you don't know what a yottabyte is, take a
10 to the 24 power?
Yeah, 10 with 24 more zeros. Bytes. Which is approximately more information than we have ever had ever, period, on Earth to date. So, yeah, it's kind of a big deal, and it's not that they'll be able to process all that information, it's that they'll be able to store it, and once you store something, you can process it. So, they're basically going to take everything we ever say and put it into a box, and then search through the box using supercomputers and see if there's any threats there because, well, they want to keep us safe. And we move on.
Safety or security?
I could go on
Freedom,
about that.
please.
I really could.
Anyway, all right. So there's a mom over in Indiana. By the way, this is completely different. Nothing connected to anything we were talking about just now.
And now for something completely different.
So this mom was had a son that was being bullied, and she's feeling pretty bad about this, and
angry, as a mom should be angry that her kid is being bullied. I'm there.
So she did the legitimate thing and sent him to school with a taser.
Yeah. Yeah,
fail.
Stun gun, straight up. Send him to school with a stun gun, and I mean, he used it, right? Like,
I can't remember. Either way, yeah, a lot of people were not happy about it. Yeah, he got kicked out of school for it. No, I don't think he actually used it. I think he just got caught with...
Well, he raised it in the air and set it off.
That's what it was, yeah.
Which, by the way, if you've never heard a stun gun get clicked, it's a very unique sound that, very much like the cock of a shotgun, will make people pause and think about what they're doing. Just briefly, if nothing else. But yeah, apparently he cracked it off in the air and sent all 6 kids that were bullying him scurrying. And well, one scurried off to the AP and was like, "You've got a stun gun, we're picking on him." So, yeah. Good job, bullies. At the same time, Mom, you were doing it wrong.
Why would you think this is a good idea?
Non-lethal weapons are still weapons. You can't bring clubs to school unless, you're hitting baseballs with them.
Right.
So, it's, don't ever send your child to school with a weapon, lethal or otherwise. Bad.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong. I'll say again. And we move on. 2, thank you. Oh, this is science. This is your department.
You kind of covered the last one halfway anyway. So, scientists have gone through and ran a few tests, ran a few procedures, and they have figured out how to turn off brain cell death in mice. As in mice that had Alzheimer's and Parkinson's diseases.
Well, mouse equivalents of.
Yeah. Either way, this is a major step forward. Now, they haven't been able to actually change this over to humans yet. This is still going to be a lengthy process. But this is a major step forward.
It would require a lot of human testing, which we generally frown on as a society. But at the same time...
If it could cure Alzheimer's... My great-grandfather, an amazing man, died from complications of Alzheimer's. So, to be able to see this go through... This is, to me, is amazing. I really think they need to find a way to push this forward a little faster if they could. Not too fast because I don't want you to mess up. But
it's one of the most torturous ways to go because your whole perception of the world changes when your brain starts decaying before the rest of you. So
before Alzheimer's, my great-grandfather had a photographic memory.
that's depressing.
Well, you think so, except that he was kind of happy. He finally was able to forget all the bad things.
Oh, wow.
Either way,
good job. Good job for him. So we're gonna leave you on a bright note because I don't want to leave with Alzheimer's as the high note. But a student in Coleman, South Carolina, or no, not Coleman, South Carolina, Johnsonville, South Carolina. Name's Coleman Shannon. Yeah, there's a reason I'm wearing sunglasses. Anyways, this teenage boy who was born 14 years ago with only one arm is now a pitcher in his school and is actually very talented. Very similarly to very recently when in Major League Baseball, the 24th game ever in Major League Baseball to be pitched a no-hitter by one of the teams occurred recently. This one-armed teenager did the exact same thing himself. So you know what I say? Cool.
Good on you.
Good times. That is one of the coolest things, honestly, in competitive sports, is to have someone who excels so much at what they do that they can do stuff like this. So good on you, young Master Coleman, and I hope we see great things from you soon in the higher leagues. It'd be
awesome to see in the major leagues.
Oh my gosh, a one-armed pitcher in the major leagues who can pitch like that? Golf clap. And thank you so much for watching. As always, send us your stories at allthingsextraordinary@gmail.com. Shoot us some subscribe love up here, some like love over here, some favorite love over here, and see you later. I'm Jeremy.
I'm AJ.
And these are extraordinary times. Be aware. My whole brain hurt.